Hey everybody, this is September the 23rd, 2023. I just want to talk a little bit about uh, our heads and how the government is targeting our heads uh, as another way to take control of us and our bodies. And so I know I talked about this in another video I made last year called They're Gonna Hit Your Head. And which is precisely what they've been doing, especially the target individuals and people with Morgellons. They're going to zero in on your head, okay? But lately I've noticed that you don't even have to have Morgellons, or you don't necessarily have to be a heavily targeted individual for them to target your head, okay? Because with the nanotechnology that they've implanted inside our bodies, you know, by spraying through the chemtrails and the food and the water and everything, all of our bodies are full of the nanotechnology. But the head, you know, and ears seem to be the antenna, okay? This seems to be what the frequencies are drawn to. So when I talk about frequencies, I'm talking about the frequencies that's coming from the cell towers, coming from satellites, that come from your electrical system inside your home, come out through your electronics and your wiring and all. The frequencies are coming at us from everywhere, you know. There's places I'm sure we don't even know about. But when the frequencies hit your head and your head is full of the nanotechnology, then the nano is going to respond to the frequencies, and then you're going to start having some symptoms. You're going to start, you may start having some dizziness and some nausea. You may have headaches. You may have the sensation in the head like intense itching or crawling, okay? Now, you have this with Morgellons and target individuals, but you don't necessarily have to have Morgellons to be targeted, okay? A lot of targeted individuals do not have Morgellons. So, like I was saying in the other videos, Morgellons is what is pushing the nanotechnology out of the body, okay? When the Morgellons hits you, there's a light within you that's been activated, and it's pushing the nanotechnology out. You're going to see it start coming out of the body. So Morgellons is different, you know, than just regular targeting. So, and I know it's not, I realize it's not happening to everybody, but everybody hasn't been, you know, haven't had the nanotechnology activated in their bodies and in their heads yet. But if you are being targeted, you know it. If you have Morgellons, you know it. But also, if the nanotechnology in your head has been activated, you're going to know it, because they're going to start hitting your head. And what it does is when it's activated, your head is like an antenna. You're walking around, you're a walking antenna, okay? And for the frequencies. So wherever you go, whenever the frequencies hit your head is going to show you're going to start having symptoms. You can have anything from headaches to nausea to dizziness to mental confusion. You can have you can start having like dementia, or some people are even being diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So in this video, I just want to talk a little bit about how they want your head, how they're hitting your head, and if you're having any of these symptoms, like if you, I know a couple of days ago I woke up and I had like vertigo. The room was spinning around. I was real dizzy, and I started getting real nauseous. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. So I knew the first thing I had to do was try to deactivate the nano in my head, because, you know, it's with the frequencies. They up the frequencies in your home, and then when the frequencies hit the nano, then, you know, everything gets activated. So I've been wearing my bubble hat and all that, and, you know, I'm still doing the magnets and all that, you know, for my ears and all. But I wanted to try something different this time, and so I want to share with y'all what I tried. and it really did help. Okay, so I woke up with this vertigo, this extreme dizziness in my head. I couldn't even walk straight, and I was so weak. My legs were weak, and I was like wobbly, like I was afraid I was going to fall down. So I just kind of laid there, and I got in meditation. 'Cause that's always what I do. When I don't know what to do, is I go into meditation, heart center meditation. So I went into meditation, and for about 15 minutes, and then when I came out, I was still dizzy, but I had a urge to saturate my head. I had this urge to saturate my head with some kind of oil. Now, I keep all kind of essential oils on hand. I mean, you name it, I got it. But I didn't know which one to use on my head. Now, I know the orange oil, if you use the orange oil, let me say this before I continue. And this is the orange oil that I'm using right now. This came from the vitamin store. It's Vitamin Plus Orange, Sweet Orange. So if you want to know if the nanotechnology in your head has been activated, the best way to find out is to put the orange oil on your scalp. Okay. And you don't want to saturate your scalp the first time you do it, because if you do have the nanobots activated, it's going to burn, it's going to sting real bad all over your scalp. If you don't have the activation, it won't. It won't burn at all when you put this on. I know I've been using it for several months now, and every time I put it on, it burns. So that's how I know that the nanobots have been activated in my head again, and when the frequencies hit it, that's when all the dizziness and the headache starts. And this is an ongoing thing. I mean, it's not a one-time fix. You have to keep doing this because the nanotechnology regenerates, and it's still falling on us. So it's something you have to keep up. But anyway, if you want to know if the nanobots in your head have been activated, try using the orange oil. Put it on your scalp. I recommend doing one side first. Like I said, because if you do the whole scalp the first time and it burns, it's going to be tormenting for you. So just test it on one side, put some orange oil on your scalp, and leave it on for about 30 minutes, because sometimes it takes a few minutes before it to start burning. Leave it on for about 30 minutes, and if it starts burning, then you know the nanobots are activated in your head. If it doesn't burn, then you're okay. But I wanted to share that with about the orange oil. But that's what I've been using, is the orange oil. But it's like this time I was getting an urge to do something different. So I asked God to show me which oil, which essential oil to use on my head. And so I started going through all of them, and a lot of times when I'm going through my oils, or I'm going through something, or something new is happening, I'll have to just stay tuned in, to my heart for an answer. But anyway, I went through all my orange oils, and I didn't get any kind of, right away, urges to use any of it. So then I opened up another box, and I had a bottle of castor oil in there. Now, I use castor oil for all kind of things. I mainly use it on my legs because I have restless leg syndrome, and it does help. Now, I've figured out that the restless leg syndrome is nothing but the frequencies hitting my legs. So at night, when my legs start cramping, I get up and I rub castor oil on them. So when I saw the castor oil in this that I had put away in this box, I thought, well, maybe I could try the castor oil on my head. Okay, so what I did is I took my castor oil, and I'm going to show you what kind I'm using. This is called Palma Crista castor oil. It's 100% cold pressed castor oil. Now, you cannot get this at Walmart, or I haven't seen it at Walmart. You have to go to a health food store to get the 100% cold pressed castor oil, but that's what you want. And so I I just opened the bottle and just started pouring it over my head. I was so dizzy and so nauseated. I was just willing to try anything. So I started pouring the castor oil over my head, and I had my head and my scalp completely saturated with castor oil, cold pressed castor oil. And then I wrapped a satin little cap and tied it around my head, to keep the oil from getting all over my clothes and everything. And I wore that all day long. I wore it all night. And guess what? I mean, it didn't take but maybe about, see, I was still dizzy a little bit when I put it on. And then about 5 minutes passed. After about 15 minutes, the dizziness was going away. Okay, the dizziness was going away. And I started to realize that the castor oil was helping to deactivate the nanotechnology in my head. So for those of you who are experiencing dizziness, headaches, nausea, dementia, or any kind of mental confusion, and you want to do something fast, now this doesn't mean that this doesn't mean to not do the Epsom salt baths and all the other treatments. You still need to do all that. But if you want to do something fast and you don't mind having an oily head, in my situation, I didn't care if my hair was oily. I just wanted something to stop the dizziness. So if you want a quick fix for the dizziness, the headaches, and the nausea, I recommend that you saturate your scalp with castor oil and wear it for as long as you can. My intentions the next day was to wash it out, but I didn't. You can tell by looking at my hair today that it is still saturated. It's not saturated. It's not like it's dripping, because I keep a hat over it, but my hair has still got castor oil in it. I have not washed it out. And the reason I haven't washed it out is because I'm afraid if I wash it out, the dizziness will come back. So 100% cold pressed castor oil. If you're having any dizziness, headache, nausea, dementia, mental confusion, or anything going on with your head and your ears. And also for the ears, now the ears and the head are the main targets. That's the antenna. So if you're having any problems with your ears, any ear aches or constant ear infections, if you're having any itching in your ears, or it feels like sometimes at night it just feels like there's something just digging down in my ear, and I can't stand that. So I have earplugs that I normally wear, but what I did on this day is I took some cotton balls and I made them pretty big, so they wouldn't, fall down in my ear. I took some big cotton balls and I saturated them in the castor oil, and then I put the cotton balls in my ear in place of the earplugs. And it has actually helped with the frequency, okay? Now, I do put the castor oil. I put the castor oil drops in my ears sometimes when I have a bad earache. But some people don't want to put castor oil in their ears. That's fine. If you feel like it, you don't want to put it in your ears, you can still use the cotton balls. You can soak the cotton balls in the castor oil and put them in your ear. And that way I found out when the frequencies hits the castor oil ball, you can still hear it, but it's like the tone is reduced, and it's like it eliminates a lot of the pain, at least for me, because it's always painful when the frequencies hit my ears. So the castor oil, the cotton ball soaked in the castor oil inside my ears is helping with the pain in my ears. So I just wanted to share this because there might be somebody out there who's having extreme dizziness, and my dizziness and my vertigo, it is extreme. I missed a whole day's work that first morning because I couldn't walk. I was so dizzy I couldn't walk. So it was later in that afternoon after I spent time in meditation when I found out about the castor oil for the head and for the ears. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Once again, if you want to find out if you got the nanobots activated, you could use the orange oil. If you're having the itching and the stinging or the crawling or any kind of dizziness, you can try the castor oil. It's been, let's see, that happened on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's been 3 days, okay? It's been 3 days since I put this on my head, and I have not had any more dizziness. So, hey, you might want to try it. I always want to share everything new that I discover to help anybody with Morgellons or target individuals or whatever, And right now, everybody's being affected in some way because we are under attack by our government. Okay, we are literally at war with our government. So even if you're not a targeted individual, and even if you don't have Morgellons disease, you still are going to be under attack in some way, and it might be a real a vague. It might be a subtle way that you don't really pick up on, but if you're having any problems with your head at all, I recommend this. That's all, guys. I love you.